Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. All right. So we will be covering what's going on, y'all. What's going on? We will be covering transactional relationships. Oh yeah, right. And why and how we got here. It's long. Pause. Um, and it's a lot. So I have some things for you guys to watch in the description box. Hopefully you guys checked it out. My apologies for the tardiness. Um, yeah. So and shout out to Toyo. Actually, let's give our shout outs. Shout out to Toyo for the second link in the description box. I'm almost certain I put it down. Where you hear the young lady looks like a white young woman um speaking about these transactional relationships, right? Um and essentially say you marry for love, right? That's debatable, but yeah, right. You marry for love, and she's you know going off, and it's about an hour and a half. I mean, an hour, excuse me, a minute and a half long, and it inspired a thought. And I actually wanted to cover the first link in the description box anyway, so it's blown the hell up. I saw that video when it was like a couple of hundreds of views. This thing is now 40,000 views, right? So it really hit a chord. The first link with the young lady, black woman, orange dress, or some kind of orange peaches, something like that dress. And she's speaking about you know the video that kind of went viral of the women speaking about $30 on a that a man sends you for lunch break, and whether you would accept it, and how that would go. And yeah, so, and y'all give Z 1 minute, because I might have to actually check this again. um and yeah, so the conversation is interesting now, because women are starting to speak about these transactional relationships more and more, and what it means for them, right? What it means for them, and speaking about other women in this transactional relationship, right? In these transactional relationships. So I just find that fascinating, right? The young lady in the orange actually said something, I think that we've heard this before, and we have a good idea of this. Is she was a waitress, from my understanding, for something like a decade, and she sees the way women spend money on themselves, and the way women spend money on women spend money when they're on dates, what they order, and how they cut up the check when they go out as a group of women, and when they go out on dates. You want to speak about transactional, right? You want to speak about transactional. So I think this speaks a lot to, and I have obviously links in there about economically unattractive men leading to a downturn in marriage. Y'all have heard me reference that a lot. But this speaks to the way women are interacting with men as, y'all know Mr. Z likes to say, overglorified guard dogs, right? Walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. What they don't appreciate is, one, there's not as many men balling out of control, even though men still earn more than women. There's not enough men that have this obscene amount of money, number one. Number two, they don't appreciate when men then say, you know what, fine. You want to make this transactional? Fine. Let me tell you what it's going to cost you. As a woman, let me tell you what it's going to cost you. You want to make this transactional? Let me tell you what it's going to cost you. Right? And so y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. We're going to pause right here for a second, and y'all talk amongst yourselves, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So, what else do I have in there? The foodie calls, right? So women, speaking about, well, actually not so much women, but the research that shows that a third of women have engaged in foodie calls, admittedly. So we, once again, y'all have heard Mr. Z say this multiple times. If it's a third, it's really like 60, 70, 80, 95%, right? But that's a third of women who admitted to doing that, to engaging in foodie calls. For those of you that don't know what a foodie call is, it is when a woman is not interested in you so much as she's interested in the restaurant, or she's interested in the food, the free food, the restaurant, the venue. It's not about you per se. It's not about getting to know you. She's actually not interested in you. She wants the experience, right? So this is when we start getting into the conversation of women and, dark triad traits. Yeah, right. So much of this was inspired, shout out to Toya, by Toya and by, shout out to Lion, right? But as Lion said in Toya's comments, let's be clear, it's not men who started this. And there you go. Now, this benefits a handful of elite men, mainly white ones, that might or might not be physically attractive, but just about everyone else, nope. Right? These transactional relationships, once again, shout out, and y'all know Mr. Z gotta dig in his lefty bag real quick. But when she said, essentially, you live in a capitalist hellscape, and it's warped your mind. There's this other person that says things like that on YouTube a whole lot, Mr. Z. Huh? The current way we do relationships, whatever this thing is, in America in specific, looks like something that Milton Freeman and Ayn Rand came up with. This looked like one of their brainchilds. So shout out to the young lady for actually calling it what it is, a capitalist hellscape. Right? But let's be very clear. Women are engaging in this. They just don't like what it looked like on the other end. Yes, black women, that includes you. Yes, even some of you supposed leftist black women. Oops. Huh? Transactional relationships, fine then. You wonder why there's a passport, bros? Are men going to spend the appropriate amount of money on you, which your demeanor and attitude and weight? Oops. Huh? Thank you, ladies, for exposing yourselves on Kevin Samuel's show night after night after night after night after night after night. Thank you. You want the money and the lifestyle? Well, so going through the numbers, we already know median household income is something like $74,000 a year. 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, right? I think was it median household house price right now is going for what, $417,000, something along those lines. Average new car price right now is some 48, so $50,000. Shout out to the young lady, the black young lady, the first clip I put in the description box, and she straight up said, "Y'all ladies are full of crap. Because when y'all are going out by yourself to these restaurants, or when you're going out as a group of women, y'all not trying to spend no crazy money, but the man is supposed to be sending you what, $100 for lunch. And I'm tying all of this in to speak about, once again, transactional relationships. That's why you see the unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. That's why we have the clip of the foodie calls. That's why we have the clip of the young lady who said she was a waitress or in the restaurant business for a decade, and she worked at different levels of establishments, so she know how y'all spend money, ladies, huh? So when the young lady says capitalist hellscape, let's be very clear. The women are engaging in this. They just don't like the way it looks. How many subscribers or viewers does Shira 7 have on TikTok? How many does she have on YouTube? Huh? What about Yanni with her decenter men? And what's the incentive? I don't want to be a kept woman of leisure. Huh? What about Chrissy? Talk about luxury dating and whatnot. Yawn. So the same rich white elite men that y'all wish y'all were with is putting the crunch down on you financially, and then you're turning to working class men and badgering them about providing you an elite life. Cowards, like I said in the previous video. Huh. And the only group of people this truly benefits are rich white elites, mainly the rich white elite men, but some women too, of course. Right? So the young white lady, I say, shout out to you for saying the truth. Like, men are, what's this about men working themselves to death to afford you a Birkin bag? Yeah, the lifestyle. So somewhere in America are women who saw that clip, white, black, Latina, Asian women, and told that young lady to shove it. Yes, we want the lifestyle over this thing you call love. When they say love can't pay the rent, right? Yep. Sounds about right. Sounds about white, right? So yeah. So we cover this to speak about, first, transactional relationships and what it means for black people. It's not a good look. These weirdo notions of yeah, because back, and I'm glad she brought up the 1600s or whatever she said. I think she said 16th century or 1600s. Yeah, 40 acres and a mule, which, by the way, wrong reference, but I get it, right? But yeah, if y'all want to go back in time, then build you a time machine. But as we currently stand right now, that's why I said they don't really want egalitarianism. They really don't want egalitarianism. They want pick and choose feminism and patriarchy. Patriarchy by feminist specifications, right? Patriarchy by feminist specifications. That is truly what we're speaking about, isn't it? And when you let women speak long enough, that's what they describe. We're covering this to actually speak about the transactional relationships that don't actually work for the masses of black people, number one. Number two, if you really wanted to engage in transactional relationships, y'all are doing a horrendous job at it. Absolutely horrendous. That's if that's what you were really trying to engage in. Dear ladies, dear black women, oh boy. Right? Are you sure about that? Because that's not what it looks like. Y'all give Z a second because whoa, we are in the slow lane. We are in the okay. All right, all right, all right. I see somebody can't drive on the expressway at nighttime. Wow. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I'm about to go in full on road rage. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I have no patience. I don't. Not on the road. Absolutely not. Driving 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pounds of glass and metal, and you can't operate it. Why are you on the road? Why? And we're back. So, we covered this to speak about the transactional relationships and the fact that these people are hypocrites, women, right? And to show that women are exposing women here. These are women that are speaking like this because they're overhearing their homegirls speak, and you know it looks ugly. Oh, you better believe it, right? Number one. Number two, as the young lady said, $30 is plenty. But how can she brag to the young lady on the first clip? But how can your homegirl brag if in her mind all she got was $30 for lunch? Forget the man offering to pay for lunch. Forget the good gesture, the kind gesture. Nope, not good enough. Forget that for the most part, that's paying for someone's lunch. $30 is plenty for one person's lunch. But how can she brag? How can she feel? How can she, you know, feel a sense of pride and fill her egotistical mind up with the fact that look, I'm breaking Negroes, I'm breaking men. Look, I got a whole $100 for lunch. Can't brag on $30, right? So between foodie calls, once again, women admitting that they're going on dates with men for the food, not for the companionship, not for the conversation, not because these women find these men in particular interesting or any of that, for the food. So a third of women admit that they engage in that. All right, there's that. Then we have women saying economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Okay, then there's that. Then there's women saying that $30 isn't enough for lunch. Okay, then there's that. Well, damn. Talk about transactional. Talk about transactional. No, ladies, this is what you wanted. Shout out to Lion. This is what you wanted, ladies. Especially for those of you, upwardly mobile, climbing up the ladder, climbing up the corporate ladder, middle management title having asses. This is what you wanted. You wanted transactional. You just don't like that men are saying, all right, how much you said it costs to be with you? Yeah, no. Uh-oh. Or men are saying, how much you said it costs to be with you? Yeah, I can find better, cheaper. How about not? That's what you really have a problem with, ain't it? Huh? I can find better, cheaper. This is why y'all have a problem with passport bros. Huh? And Mr. Z's not even a passport bro. But if we're gonna engage in transactional relationships, guess what you don't get to do, dear ladies, dear American women? You don't get to complain about men going overseas to spend money on women. You want to know why? Because you are okay with them spending money on you. Uh-oh. It's not that you have a problem with men spending money on women. It's that they're going overseas and getting more bang for their buck. Pun intended. Right? Isn't that the real issue? Huh? Isn't that the real issue? Huh? So that clip, Toya, that clip was fire. Um, the young lady just went off, and she said for love. Now, there's some things to think about with that. There's some caveats to that, to be honest. Right? There's some caveats to that, but it's understandable. And the part of the capitalistic hellscape. Okay, so you view the world and you view relationship as very transactional. Okay, fine. Exactly, Toya. And Toya says she said human shopping, and I lost it. Everybody's mentioning that, right? That's true. She said human shopping on the internet. And y'all heard Mr. Z say this before. Y'all get your little hearts broken, and that's essentially what she said. Y'all get your little feelings, or she phrased it a different way, but you get your little hearts broken, and you go human shopping on the internet. Translation: dating apps and whatnot. Right? Huh? And if you're going to engage in this, I think like I really have to do a stream. I'm gonna have to coordinate with Green Gorilla and BGS and Dr. T, so we could go through the social math, and maybe that might be one of those streams that you send to younger cousins and younger siblings and whatnot. I mean, like 17, 18 to like 25, 26, about the social math, right? Especially when it comes to like relationships, because there's no one size fits all for the most part, but like it's really that people are signing up for these things and then not really appreciating what it costs them. And when I say signing up, I mean you are engaging in a worldview and you don't appreciate what it costs you. If you are viewing men as nothing but walking wallets, do you not understand what you are implicitly saying? Explicitly saying, actually. What do wallets do? They store money. Hmm. They store important information. Yes, yes. Your credit cards and whatnot, your driver's license. Yeah, that's what wallets do. Yes, yes. You know what else wallets do? Open up and buy things. Emphasis on things. Ooh, Z. Ooh, spicy language. Buy things. That's what wallets do. So when you're signing up for transactional relationships, when men are nothing but overglorified guard dogs and walking wallets, do you not understand or appreciate what you are then saying about yourself? Whether you have money or not, dear women, I know there's some women out there, I got my own. Whether you have money or not, do you not understand what you have boiled yourself down to? Huh? Huh? Vince, and thank you for the super chat. We'll read this one now. And Vince is, we need an audio. Once again, thank you for the super chat. We need an audio infographic chart, right? For real. And it really is what I really think that most people don't appreciate what they're actually asking for and what informs their desires. I just like it because I like it. Really? Right? What informs your desires? Because your desires do not exist in a vacuum. Right? Huh. So if the desire now, especially in this quote unquote advanced society where women can work, women can earn their own, if you are saying, as the young lady said, that this man has to pay all your bills and, right, quote unquote, save you, do you not understand what you're then asking? Which, by the way, if that's what you're asking, then fine. But you don't get to complain on the other side of it. If you boil men down to nothing but walking wallets, do you not understand what you are boiling yourself down to? Recall, everyone, these are the people that like to speak about nuance and breaking down systems of oppression and egalitarianism and equality and equity and fairness. Recall, everyone, these are the same people. These are the people that want to throw colorism in your face every 5 goddamn nanoseconds. Hey, Chrissy. Huh? These are those people, right? These are the people that want to complain about the goddamn European beauty standard every 5 seconds, which is a thing. Huh? And then you let them talk long enough, and men are nothing but walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. And even for the women that have the education and the money, they're just better and nicer, not even so nice, about saying it. What are you saying, Z? They hide behind 4 and 5 syllable words. Academic terms for hypergamy. It's not assortative mating, it's classmate guarding. Stop it. It's hypergamy. It's classmate guarding. Let's stop calling it assortative mating. Do not let them get away with that. Huh? The transactional relationships only really benefit a select few women and men, primarily white men, well off white men, right? The sloppy, fat, chubby Harvey Weinsteins of the world. Ah, right? and that's the excuse me, that's the cost. The cost is you engage in it, and you probably aren't going to win anything. A couple of nice dinners is not winning. Well, actually, Z, you can't tell them what winning is and what it isn't. You're right. Hmm. Imagine demanding transactional relationships now in this environment. You know, I mentioned something like this a few months ago, and Chrissy was reviewing it, and she thought it was funny to mock me saying that. I'll say it again because I'm not the one delusional. You are. Imagine asking for transactional relationships. Sorry, wrong word. Demanding transactional relationships in this environment with this economy. Mm? We recite the numbers all the time here. The Black Manosphere, Mr. Z's channel in specific, we cite the numbers all the time to put our environment in context, to put what we're saying in context. I want you to understand how insane that is. In a weird way, we give women an out. In a weird way, Z gives women an out. But these women are so hell bent on living the upper middle class white woman's life, the lottery chance dream that they live the real housewives of whatever the hell, that they still sound the way they sound. In other words, it is Dr. Umar Johnson speaking to Cynthia G. Huh? Instead of us having a conversation about white capitalism, the financialization of just about everything, as the young lady said, the capitalist hellscape that we are currently living in, neoliberalism, which obviously most of these women don't even know what that is, but okay. Instead of us having a conversation about that, regardless of where you fit in the political spectrum, which there's a whole conversation I could get into, especially as a leftist, about capitalism will eat you alive. And so you you should, and I engage in this sometimes, you should try to hedge your bets and shelter yourself um with a rich man, right? I didn't say a man, I said a rich man. Once again, we know who this benefits. And when I say I engage in this, this is this is the thing. I actually phrased that wrong. I engage with this, better yet. But instead of us having a conversation about that, particularly, this is the most fascinating thing is how many black people are not actually having that conversation. Oh boy, what country are y'all living in? Anyway, instead of us having that conversation, and then how these systems work on us and how these systems affect child rearing, childbearing, relationships, how the finances may be an issue for living a particular way. No, what you do is you celebrate the 4B movement in Korea because you got it wrong. Huh? So that's what I was saying last night. the South Korean women are speaking about the economic environment and how the corporations are eating them alive and the long work hours and how expensive it would be to afford a home and raise a family and how expensive having a child would be. And what Western women, American women, black women in America heard was these men ain't ish. But of course they did, right? But of course they did. And that lets you know how people have been socialized to ignore the economic landscape so much. And this is the time, dear millennials, Gen Z, this is the time when you should be I said complaining loud as hell. Biden shouldn't have a place to go where you're not complaining. Every time one of a person under the age of goddamn 50 get on a microphone, Biden should have an earful of how horrible the environment is economically, and then how that is downstream to what's going on socially and politically with everyone. Every time someone gets because I don't expect the conservatives to do this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Every time Trump is anywhere near a crowd, whoever is on a microphone, Trump should get an earful. Right? This is the time to be shaming on camera US politicians. But instead of us having that conversation, I said shaming. Oh, yeah, Mr. Z did say shaming. Embarrassing and shaming on camera. Wait, y'all supposed to be the richest country in the world, and why y'all people, every time we see them on camera, they complaining about the economy? Right? Every time, well, Biden, what's going on? The next time, well, it's probably not going to be Biden. The next time a representative for the Biden administration show up to the G20, they should be like, "Hey, y'all all right over there in the U.S.? Are y'all okay?" Because you know, every time there's a camera up, some 20 some odd year old, 30 something year old, 40 something year old is talking about how horrible the economy is, or how difficult it is to look for work that's worth something, that pays something worth a damn. Right? In PK says there's no deep talk about the landscape except for a handful of figures on the internet in their world. Everybody LLCing six figures, right? And Lithium says temporarily embarrassed millionaireism is a hell of a drug, bruh. Is it? And Lithium follows up by saying even the Chinese are saying something, and they have a totalitarianism. Yeah, they are a totalitarian single party state, borderline dictatorship. The way Xi got it going on over there, right? Because he's supposed to be what, the president for life, premier for life. So he just made himself Mao 2.0. That was a few years ago, but still, right? So imagine what you just said, Lithium. China, one party state ruled by one man right now. The young people are laying flat. And they're telling you why. Let it rot, and they're telling you why, right? They're also engaging in their version of minimalism. Once again, and they're telling you why. Even the women, okay, fine. Then you go to South Korea, and unlike what women in America think the 4B movement is about, the women over there are saying, have children, get married, and buy what type of house, where, for how much, raise children how, with what money, right? But when you get over here to the US, oh boy, women don't got time to do that. And here's the saddest part. And shout out to Tone Talks. Isn't it the saddest thing? Especially black women. You would think black women, this is when you're supposed to be using that moral card. Dear black women, that moral pedestal that you feel like you stand above everyone else in the US on, yeah, this is when you're supposed to be using it. Talk about bully pulpit. But too many of you are too busy throwing dirt in black men's eye. Can't shame the president about the economy when you're too busy throwing dirt in black men's eye. Huh? Can't make a real big stink about not getting the loan forgiveness when you're too busy throwing dirt in black men's eye. Can't shame the Biden administration about that fact that the Build Back Better went from like $6 trillion to like $1.5 trillion when you're too busy throwing dirt in black men's eye. Huh? Can't even truly complain about the cheaper labor and the competition for the men that you would use as the fallback plan. You're too naive to do it now because you think you got chances that you really don't have. Can't complain about your future female competition flooding over the US border because you're too busy throwing dirt in black men's eye. Right? So when we speak about the economic landscape and then everything that trickles down from that, including and not limited to these transactional ass relationships, y'all are too busy sniping at black men, mocking black men, insulting black men for not being elite white men. Huh. You're too busy watching Yanny mock men saying we're going to die single anyway. And what's the incentive? And I want to be a kept woman of leisure. Meanwhile, I put money. Yanny's average subscriber is somewhere between their late teens to maybe early and mid 30s. And I put money her average subscriber isn't making more than $35,000 a year. I put money on it. And you want to talk about dying alone. And you want to watch Yanny talking about what's the incentive? How about not starving? If you're going to engage in transactional relationships, y'all not even doing it right. Wait a minute. So you're going to watch Yanny tell you what's the incentive when you only earn $36,000 a year? if even. Huh? When you are 33 years old, still live with your parents making $28,000 a year? Yanni, you think some of your subscribers aren't what I just described? Huh? So, speaking about transactional relationships, instead of us actually grappling with this current, like the young lady said, capitalist hellscape, and what that truly means for us individually and as a group, it's not up to you. You got the same jersey color as everyone else. I mean, black everyone else. Instead of us really grappling with that, the women are watching Chrissy and Yanni and Paris and Lexus Exodus and Shira 7 and Princella and Cynthia G and Bowser to make them feel better about the fact that they don't earn crap and they're in student loan debt up to their eyeballs. Fine, you earn 50. Not enough. 55. Not enough. Huh? 60. 65. Congratulations. Now you earn more than 2/3 of men. So that means because of your hypergamy, now those 2/3 of men are invisible. Goddamn. You want to talk about transactional? Talk about that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right? Huh. So y'all check the links in the description. Um, Economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. The young lady in the first clip telling you she knows how much she'd been in. I need to actually check out the rest of her page to see if she ever came back to that conversation where she pretty much said she know what y'all spending when y'all go out as a group of women compared to the type of money or the type of things y'all are ordering when y'all are on these dates, ladies. So between economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage, $30 is not enough for to send a woman for lunch. Um Transactional relationships, right? A third of women admitting that they participate in or have participated in foodie calls. Why not? Men say, all right, fine, you want this to be transactional? Let me show you what it look like for real. Right? How about men say, let me show you what transactional looks like for real? Because we're not going to have one-sided transaction now, are we? That's not fair. Right? Aren't y'all all about fairness and equality over there? And black men ain't ish landia. If y'all didn't know, that's a new country. Just claimed their independence somewhere in the mid '60s. It's called Black Men Ain't Ishlandia. The flag is of a black woman's foot, in the upward trajectory, hitting a black man's rear end. right? It was recently discovered. It's an island about 200 miles off the coast of like North Carolina somewhere, right? It's well, the way we would say it in America that people would understand, it's matriarchal led. It only has black women as leaders, right? Huh. Saint Cyr says they fled Blackistan to black men ain't Ishtan. You see what I'm saying? Black men ain't Ishlandia, right? And Jake says entire swaths of the American landscape are going through bankruptcy because people aren't dating or spending like that. Huh. Lowering birth rate, lowering marriage rate, increasingly atomized, and the Yanny types are saying, what's the incentive? You know, on the left, we often speak about people lacking the political imagination, right? And it's a handful of we speak about that often, but it's a handful of people that speak about that often. And they use phrase I've used that phrase before, right? Just they lack the political imagination and they can't see outside of what is, right? And they are it's difficult for them to get outside of like status quoism, right? They start the clock from when they were born, or at least when they had like consciousness, when they were conscious of certain things. And like that's the world. And so they lack a certain view of how things can change, how quickly things can change, how you can spend y'all have heard this before, a decade with not much changing and then see one day where a decade happens, right? And they just lack this different way of saying it. And by the way, some leftists, when we start getting into that talk, you got to be careful because quote unquote different relationship models, it, it's coming, right? It's around the corner. They're gonna hit you with it soon enough, right? And because I would argue that people lack this political imagination, they don't actually push for quote unquote justice. What they push for is to find themselves in a better position in the pyramid scheme. Thank you, Lithium. Lithium says no thanks, Destiny. And Lithium also says, I don't share my women. Well, it didn't work for him, now did it? Right? Vince is black myopia. Exactly. Once again, people aren't actually asking for quote unquote justice. They're asking if you let them talk long enough, they're actually asking to have to either for the system to loosen up the grip just a little bit. Could you not choke me out all the way? Right? Or to find themselves in just a slightly better position in the hierarchy, right? That's even a better one. And Jake's is pissed on me, massa economics. It really is. And so when you see women now speaking more and more about these transactional relationships, right? Both the ones that, at least for now, look like they make some sense, and the ones that sound absolutely insane. The question then becomes how many of them are sounding like this because they realize it's not working for them. Did you truly question this before you ran into the wall? Did you have to run into the wall of, wait a minute, huh? Yes, there's some men with money, the type of money I would like to be umbrellaed under, but they act like men with money that have a whole lot of choices because they have a whole lot of choices. Huh. Yeah, I don't like this transactional relationship thing. Is it really that you don't like this transactional relationship thing? Or is it that it's not working for you? Once again, are you truly about justice, or are you just trying to find your nice little comfortable place towards the top? I didn't even say the top, towards the top of the pyramid scheme. And to be honest with you, as a leftist, this is something that a lot of leftists actually grapple with, the ones with a conscience. Do I really mean what I say? Or am I just saying that because I'm on the wrong side of the decimal right now? I have 12 cents in my account, not $12,000, right? And Lion says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Until the average black woman weighs 140 pounds, hysterical. I don't want to hear ish about black men's income. A damn aquarium out here. Right? And if we're going to call a thing, you know, it's people are more apt to listen to women complain about men not being on their quote unquote level and speak about these, men's income because it still speaks to a Christian ethic of a white Christian capitalist ethic of, or ethos, I should say, of hyper provider man. And so you pay everything. And this is the way of you establishing your dominance. And because this is a old trope in the Western world, particularly in America, people are more apt to listen to women complain about that. That's that, at least from my view. So they're more likely to listen to her complain that way than us take a issue with women's increasing weight and obesity, right? Huh. And Lion continues by saying, Toya, real life Jurassic Park out here, but I'm supposed to be in the top 20% of earners. Yeah, you heard right. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Right. That's funny. Lion also says, can she establish some dominance at the squat rack? That's funny. Right. And that's what it really is, isn't it? Our society has groomed women to be able to complain about these things and groomed men and women to comprehend and to understand and to be sympathetic towards said complaints. When really what women are saying is, I don't know if I actually have a problem with the transactional relationships. I just don't like what I have in front of me. Huh? Once again, night after night after night after night after night, we watched women call into Kevin Samuel's show and boil men down to nothing but walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs and the occasional attractive pleasure toy. Huh? Huh. And the most fascinating part, this is the part I think a lot of people have to grapple with, is how many women that did not call into Kevin Samuel's show, that only saw clips and highlight reels, had an issue with Kevin because Kevin was telling those women that they're not going to find, wait for it, love. Uh-oh. That they were too heavy to find love. Wait a minute. What? That they were too quote unquote manly to find love. Z, but that's not what the women were calling in for. Yeah, and that's the point. We heard lifestyle accurately, they heard love. We saw women calling in looking for men to provide them a lifestyle. Those women and some men heard women calling in looking for love. First of all, no, y'all didn't. Secondly, y'all are cowards because you would rather chastise the men for not being, wait for it, the appropriate walking wallet instead of tell the women, yeah, do you know what that transaction is going to really cost you? Huh? Baby steps, Lion. Wait a minute. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Lion. Lion says, I could see if we had a bunch of Simone Biles or Aaliyah shaped women out here, but that's not the case. Look, baby steps. Baby steps. I don't see that. I don't see that for decades. Right? Absolutely not. We got a bunch of Lizzos and Simone Sanders walking around here. Right? Gabby Sidibe and whatnot. Baby steps. Right? We don't even got them looking like Serena yet. We not even there. They're not even like more toned and muscular. Absolutely. Look, baby steps. We ain't nowhere near Simone Biles. Right? And Aaliyah, all right. They out here looking like Lonnie Love, not Aaliyah. Right? And by the way, here's the kicker. I'm not saying these people aren't deserving of love. I'm saying that these people aren't looking for love, they're looking for lifestyle. And if you are a heavier set black woman, right? You come from humble beginnings, you're still somewhat living humble beginnings, right? If you're looking for love and true companionship, that's a whole different conversation than when you stick your big toe. big toe, excuse me, through that threshold, looking to engage in transactional relationship. And let's be very clear, a lot of women are talking this love thing, and I let you talk long enough, and it sounds real transactional. You're angry because you can't play the game the way the quote unquote cute chick can. You're mad because you can't play the game the way the quote unquote cute light skinned woman can. Ain't that right, Bowser? I'm not even playing the same game. Yes, you are, with your jealous ass. For those of you that never saw Bowser speak about Brittany Renner, oh boy, what a treat. Because she thinks she's saying something when really she's exposing her goddamn jealousy. Right? And y'all give me 1 second because Detroit put something here. Let's see. Wait a minute. Y'all give me a second, y'all. Wait a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see what line put here. I'm gonna put it on 2 times speed. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Detroit, what did you what look. Detroit is intent on getting Z's blood pressure boiling. Okay, so I guess we can tie this into. I'll put the link in the description box later so that people can know what we're referring to. Begging. Wait a minute. Black men are begging women to be with them that don't even break $30,000 a year median. Wait. What's the average weight for black women? Isn't it like 160 some odd pounds? 180. Ooh, wait. See, wrong. That's the average woman in America. Really, for black women, it's like 180 some odd. Yeah. We're begging, y'all. We're begging. We're begging. We're begging. That's why there's video after video after. Not you egotistical maniacs who think you're playing this weird ass reverse Uno card on men and say, "Well, I'm perfectly okay being single." Not you, the girl next to you that's crying her eyes out on camera. Yeah, video after video after video after video of women that include some black women doing that, and black men are begging. Black men are begging. We're watching video after video of women. If you understand, Donovan Sharp is actually smart for this term, womanese. If you understand womanese, you're hearing women video after video telling you what they ain't gonna settle for. You know why they're saying that? Because those are the men that are approaching. God damn, see. But we're begging. Y'all throwing whole temper tantrums. You think we don't understand that's what you're doing. You're throwing whole temper tantrums, Ebony K. Williams. Amanda Seals. Bowser, even with your man, ooh, begging. The young ladies, you're not so young, said, If you earn less than $50,000, why are you even dating? Why are you bringing that up? Is that because those are the only men approaching you? Oh, maybe you think we rate you because you light skin. And this lady talking about begging. Go check on your younger girl cousins. Make sure they're not crying in their parents' cars because the guys aren't checking for them. Begging. Begging. Black women, wealth of $5, but black men are begging. Begging. Fastest eviction rate. Oops. Begging, though. Black men are begging, y'all. It's really weird speaking as if black men and black women aren't tied by the hip, whether you like it or not. So to say black men are begging, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. To say black men are begging. Remember, these are the same people that turn around and say, "What happened to R&B music?" Uh-oh. Begging. Huh? Remember, these are the same people that made you being interested in a woman. Remember that when they used to call it thirsty? Uh-oh. As an insult? Begging. Oh, these are the same people that say, "What happened to all the good men? And I want a man like my granddad." Begging. Begging. Yeah, that's it. Says the people that say that you should be paying all the bills because they're not running into men that want to pay all the bills. Or, let's be honest, that can pay all the bills. Begging. Huh. Men are begging women. Meanwhile, Yanni's over here speaking about women should get comfortable dying alone because even if you're in a relationship, even if you're married, your man is more likely to die before you. And she's doing all of this, her little bitter ass, because her homegirls moved on with their lives and have kids and men. And this young lady says we're the ones begging. Yanni's over here begging to have goddamn friends. And black men are the ones begging. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Begging. Huh? Wait a minute. Fresh and Fit. She references Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit. They're not struggling to bring women onto their show, and these women oftentimes are using the show to advertise themselves, advertise their social media. Uh-oh. Advertise their looks, and yet black men are begging. Begging. Huh? This is a good point. In Detroit says, who's begging the next 4B movement? Black men are begging, yet black women and some white women and Latinas and a handful of Asian women are celebrating the 4B movement because they don't actually understand what's going on. In other words, women want to go scorch earth. Y'all don't got the ovaries to do it in the West, but okay. Women want to go scorch earth because they're not running into enough baller ass men that's going to pay their way through life. But yet black men are begging. Yeah, that's it. Begging. Men are begging, but I'm literally covering women saying economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Let's say that one more again. Economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. That's women needs for begging, actually. You want to talk about begging? That's women saying either I need you to pay my way through life or I earn too much and I want a man that earns even more. And if I can't have that, then temper tantrum. But men are begging. Oh boy. Begging. Begging. Begging, and yet it was primarily women. I'm not even going to mention the fact that it's a lot of black women. Oops. Asking, we're not going to use begging, demanding, for the Joe Biden administration to forgive their college loans. Begging. So let me get this right. Y'all not getting married. Y'all not having children to at least save you in the future. So you're not getting married. Fine. Not so fine, but fine. Unlike older exers, you're not having the children out of wedlock in the first place so that you can live off of them in the future. Okay. We going all the way super ultra mega reckless. There's even rules to breaking rules, so fine. So you're not getting married, so there go that umbrella that you don't have. You're not having children, so that in the future you can live off of them. So there's that umbrella that you don't have. And you're talking about begging. Huh. Begging. Huh. Let me see. No loan forgiveness, being evicted, throwing a temper tantrum, chastising men for not being baller enough, black men, for not being white men enough, goddamn. Watching Chrissy, watching Yanny, watching Lexus Exodus, watching Shira 7. Wait. Talking about transactional relationships. What the hell does Shira 7 promote on her channel again? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What does Shira 7 promote on her channel again? Transactional relationships. Okay, fine. And why would you be watching that if you weren't begging for a well-off man, regardless of race? Uh-oh. If you weren't listening to Shira 7 for manipulation tactics and strategies on how to get and keep, let's say again, get and keep said rich man. Huh? Begging. You know, they really think we can't interpret their moves in what they're really saying. Young lady, you know what you're engaging in right now? Oh, damn, Z. Don't do it. Don't burst her bubble, Z. Don't do it. Don't do it, Z. Young lady, you're engaging in begging. This is your way. See, unfortunately for black women, and fortunately for black men, unfortunately, but fortunately for black men spend entirely way too much time when they're young and children around their mothers. So you know what black men are? They're really good interpreters of what women actually mean. God damn. Young lady, you're begging right now. You're doing black women's angry begging, but you know what you're doing right now? You're mocking black men because you don't have the type of man you want. I put money on it. Even if you're in a quote unquote situationship right now, if you got a man, dear young man, Y'all ain't in a relationship. You're a holdover. Young lady, you're begging now. Z could see right through that. Young lady, you're begging right now. You want to talk about begging. You're begging right now, right? Line says, you ain't ish, but can I hold $50 though? Really though. That's really what they're engaging in. Young lady, you are begging right now, right? Huh. See, particularly in the black community, this kind of Klingon way of communicating, this aggressive, antagonistic way of communicating, this coarse and harsh way of communicating that we all engage in, let's be honest. Dear black women, you know we see through that, right? We know when you're begging, young lady. You want to talk about begging. What do you think you were actually doing here? Begging the universe, begging God, begging men to provide you a baller man, to save you from yourself and whatever room that is that you were recording in. Uh oh. Begging. Huh. Imagine begging, mocking men for begging women. Ma'am, begging you for what exactly? Men still earn more than women, and that includes black men earning more than black women. So, what exactly are we begging you for? Studies have come out that show that black men's life expectancy doesn't actually increase with relationship to black women, unlike other men, goddamn. So, it can't be the companionship. Uh oh. Black women are in more debt than black men, so it can't be the money. Black men have higher credit scores than black women, once again, so it can't be the money. As I said earlier, black men earn more than black women, so once again, it can't be the money. Uh oh. Begging. Huh? Black women have what, the highest eviction rate in America? Ma'am, let me say this. Ooh, Z, ma'am. Black women, don't say it, Z, should be begging. Did you hear that, Chrissy? Did you hear that, Yanni? First of all, we're tied by the hip, whether you like it or not. And black women's pride, Z, say it better, black women's ego won't allow for them to, let me say the word y'all used to say, y'all still kind of say, humble themselves. Let's say that again, Z. Humble themselves. That's a better word. Hubris. I'm gonna start using this more. Actually, this is really the word, Toya. That's really the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Black women's hubris, better word, won't allow for them to humble themselves and admit that they're struggling, they're starving, and they need not just a man, a black man. You want to talk about begging, right? You could swaggy brag. I mean, brag. You could swaggy beg, ladies. You could do it in a sexy way. You could do it in a way where your ego is still intact. But dear black women, this ain't looking good. You want to talk about begging? Young lady, have you looked at the numbers? A wealth of $5, ma'am. Ma'am, the white guys that are car enthusiasts mock women, black women, with terms like ultima energy, madam. They're making fun of y'all for hit and runs and the fact that you can't afford to fix the bumper on your goddamn Ultima that you crashed into something or into someone with, and you can't afford to fix your car. Ultima Energy is Black Air Force energy for cars. Ma'am, you want to talk about begging? Not Ultima. Ultima as in the Nissan Ultima, right? Whenever you see those Ultimas on the expressway and the back bumper is barely hanging on and it's flapping in the wind and it looks like the air might actually catch it a good way and it might fly off, Ultima Energy. Huh? And this young lady is saying that black men are begging. Ma'am, if black men were begging, you know what black women wouldn't be doing right now? Black women wouldn't be on the internet talking all this crap. You know what black women would do? If black men were begging, black women would take black men on that offer. And that way you could keep your ego intact because he's the one who pursued while he saves you from yourself. If black men were begging, ma'am, you would not have made that video. Oh, damn, Z. Ma'am, you're speaking womanese for the fact that black men aren't begging. You're in panic mode. Huh. Ma'am, what you really mean is that black men aren't begging. Let me translate that for y'all, what she really said. Wait, wait, wait. Hey, girls. Hey, ladies, ladies, ladies. Black women, black women. Are black men serious? Wait, 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 wait. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. Are black men serious? Are they really doing this passport thing? What's this SYSBM thing they keep on talking about on the internet? Wait, are they serious? Wait, they don't even want the vagina no more like that? They would rather be at home with the Jergens lotion in the video games? No, they can't really mean that. They ain't no way. They really mean that? Wait, 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 ladies, we need to huddle up. Don't let the men hear us. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come here, come here. Wait, do the men really mean that? I know they talking all greasy on the internet. We used to that. They've been doing that forever. But it looked like they might actually mean it. Wait, 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 wait. I've seen the videos of them like celebrating getting their passport. I actually watched something where a black woman was saying she was in one of these South American countries, Central American countries, and like she saw black men jumping into cars with pretty attractive Latinas, and they had the biggest smiles on their face. Wait, do black men really mean it? Don't worry, we'll catch white. Oh crap, the white men are doing it too. Uh-oh. That's what she really meant. right? Toya said ball tire vibes. And that's all. Ball tires are the car equivalent of ball tires, squeaky brakes, squeaky power steering. That's the automotive version of the fire alarm. When the fire alarm battery be going off, what Kevin Samuels used to mock all the time. Ball tires, squeaky brakes, that means you need new brake pads. Squeaky power steering, that means your power steering pump is either going out or you haven't filled it in a while, right? Puffing white smoke, not like it's going to explode, puffing white smoke, that means that your oil is dried up in there. You're going to need an oil change soon. Either your oil is extremely dirty, no, or you've been driving it so long without an oil change because you can't afford it. By the way, them oil changes, depending on the car, can be pretty damn pricey now. Right? And Vince's um 4 pairs of good tires is 400 to 600 by itself, and that depends on the car and and how the tires are rated. Because the Z tires cost way more than that because the Z is rated to go over a 175. That's 175 miles an hour. And the M came factory with 20, so there's that too. Ma'am, we know that black men aren't begging because if black men were begging, you wouldn't be making that video. Huh? If black men were truly begging, black women wouldn't be making the videos that they're making, right? Huh. And that says a lot, ma'am. So once again, y'all, this is a woman engaging in that weirdo reverse psychology. It's not working. Dear young lady, we don't believe you. You need more people. Black men are begging. You say, well, she didn't say black men. They're begging. Ooh, they're begging. Yawn. If black men were begging, Yanni wouldn't be saying, what's the incentive in decenter men, ma'am? If black men were begging, ma'am, Chrissy wouldn't still be speaking colorism the way she is, ma'am. If black men were begging, if black men were begging, heterosexual women wouldn't be watching Princella, ma'am. If black men were begging, Amanda Seals wouldn't be saying that the world hasn't caught up to women like her, ma'am. Ebony K. Williams would have had a husband by now, ma'am, if black men were begging. Ebony K. Williams wouldn't be calling men mediocre, black men mediocre, ma'am, if black men were begging. You know how we know black men ain't begging, ma'am? Because you said that black men are begging. Begging, huh? They're begging, y'all. They're begging. Yawn. Begging. Your issue, ma'am, is that black men aren't actually begging and you're in panic mode. And a lot of black women are in panic mode. Y'all feel a certain way when you see the pictures of all of those young brothers during prom with all of those goddamn white girls begging. Uh-oh. Begging. If black men were truly begging, y'all wouldn't feel a certain way about Bronny James when he was a minor going to prom with a white woman, white girl. Let's be very clear. Begging, right? Huh. She says begging, and yet Tracy Ellis Ross, last time we checked, don't got no man. Maya don't got no man. Monica got broken up by a dude in goddamn prison. Huh. Last time we checked, Brandy doesn't have a man. Uh-oh. T-Boss doesn't have a man. Divorced from Mac 10. Chili over here subsidizing a goddamn what C-list, D-list, E-list actor. White man. Vivica A. Fox. Look like, do you want to play a little game? And is single. If black men were begging, ma'am, famous, rich, attractive, used to be even more attractive, black women wouldn't be single right now, ma'am, if black men were begging. Huh? If black men were begging, ma'am, Stacey Dash wouldn't have been living with a mediocre ass attorney and getting her ass handed to her by his goddamn daughter, ma'am. Z, you still said that wrong. Mediocre ass white attorney. Huh. Begging, ma'am? Ma'am, if black men were begging, then Lisa Ray wouldn't be single, ma'am. This is peak light skin, attractive black woman with body. Single. Begging. Right? And she said his daughter was roughing her up. Yeah, that's rumor in the rumor mill, right? As a matter of fact, when she called the cops, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Stacey Dash is the one that called the cops after their altercation. And yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the daughter and her got into a little physical back and forth, right? Begging, ma'am. You said begging. I purposely mentioned celebrities to paint the picture. You said begging, ma'am. Oh, black men are begging. Huh. And you wonder why I covered transactional relationships. What we have here are women that don't know how to fully and truly communicate that they're struggling, that they're single, that they're lonely, that they're horny, that they're unhappy, right? Because their pride and their ego won't let them admit it. Because black men aren't white men. Huh? See, unfortunately, and I hate this, white girls and women are crying all over the goddamn place. But black women's ego won't let them because why would they do that for you, black man? You're not a white man. So instead of telling you, goddamn SOS, I'm in trouble, I need help, please forgive me and my temper tantrum over the past, I don't know, forever, 60 years. Instead of black women engaging in that, they would rather lie to themselves and lie to other black women about black men begging. Ma'am, your fear is that black men aren't. The interracial marriage rate for black men is increasing, ma'am. Your fear is that black men aren't begging. Begging. Black men are buying passports, even knowing that depending on where you go, it might be a setup. What does that tell you about what black men see black women as? What are black women doing or not doing that's causing black men to be willing to risk life and limb? And I'm only saying this because that's where black women are going to go with it. Fine, let's go there with it. Black men are willing to risk life to go overseas. What does that mean about black women? Huh? Ma'am, if black men were truly begging, there would not be a Chrissy. There would not be a Yanni. There wouldn't be a Princella. There wouldn't be a Shira 7. I would not be recording this speaking about transactional relationships. Oh crap! And AB Media says, "What's going on?" AB Media says, "Z, some black women are begging on TikTok." Well, begging, she says. Right? Thank you. And a split Jim, he gets the reference. And a split Jim says, "We don't need you. You need more people." Take over. By the way, Jay Z reference, y'all. Jay Z reference. Before he went at Nas, well, this is the song where he went at Nas, and yeah, about that reply. Actually, this is a good statement for Miss begging because this is ether right now. Begging. Begging. And thank you once again for the super chat. Begging. All right. AB says they have nowhere else to go. Yeah, but their ego, though, their ego won't let them admit it. Their ego won't admit that they have nowhere else to go. Right? Huh. Ego. Definition: a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Oh boy, that's a tongue twister right there. Pause. Once again, A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Ego. Now do y'all see why I use the word ego? Their ego won't let them. Huh. As opposed to pride. Pride. A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. Did y'all hear? Wait, rewind. Let's say that again. A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. The achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are wielded, or excuse me, wildly admired. The second definition I think is more telling. Conscious of one's own dignity. This is about ego. This young lady, whether she realizes it or not, if she puts her finger to the wind, she sees what's going on. She know black women aren't doing well. The masses of black women aren't doing well. They're not doing well financially. They ain't doing well mentally. They may not be doing well with their health. I heard about Atlanta in that HIV break. Uh-oh. Right? So this is her egotistical way of attempting to what? Bring black men in with this weirdo reverse psychology? Absolutely not. Begging. So on that note, y'all, yeah, black men begging. Wow. Y'all hear this? So this is a perfect clip to go with the talk about transactional relationships, transactional situations, because we have young ladies like this who ego won't let them admit that black women are struggling. And so we have black women attempting to engage in transactional relationships and failing. We have young ladies like this attempting to shame and insult black men into being who they want black men to be, and they're failing. This weirdo form of Klingon reverse psychology, fail, right? Fail, right? And Vegas says, wait until they see how little effect their shaming tactics have on Gen Z and younger. Dear black women, when you scream or shout or yell for help, it's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to get men's attention. It's supposed to actually mean you are in dire straits. Something's gone awry. Something is wrong. This is an immediate problem. This we have Houston, we have a problem. Your shaming tactics are actually supposed to mean something. You shaming men is supposed to actually have weight to it, but it doesn't. Because black women have overused yelling and screaming and shouting, and black women have overused shaming. And so those shaming tactics no longer work. Oh, you can't see the link. Oh man, Detroit, repost the link so I am Waffles could check it out real quick. Right. But yeah, begging. Hmm. Right. So, you know, what Vegas said about the shaming tactics, that's unfortunate. That's going to be really unfortunate for women, for black women. Women writ large, honestly. To be- to to be honest with you, I think this is going to be an issue in the Western world, particularly in America. You know, was it last stream or the stream before that I had a panel up? There was a segment that me and Lion got into where we were speaking about what some of the stuff going on in New York with dudes, striking women or hitting women with objects and whatnot. And that speaks to something. That speaks to an increasingly atomized society, but it also speaks to how much black women have abused the shaming tactics, the damsel in distress that they wish that they could imitate from white women, but they still engage in themselves. And how these things no longer work to the point where there are men who go off the deep end and strike women, right? Because those shaming tactics no longer work. And the oh, she's a woman no longer works. And is that for all men? No. Is it for most? Probably not. Is it for an increasing amount of men? Yep. Huh. Yeah. So we will see about this begging word. Huh? AB said, I got a response to that clip I'm about to upload. Okay, brother. Okay. And on that note, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all night. Begging. Oh, I'm over here talking about transactional relationships because women are begging for men to pay their way through life. And this young lady is saying that men, black men, let's be honest, are begging, right? Yeah. Black men are begging, yet Dr. Umar Johnson has an issue with passport bros. Phil from the Advice Show is speaking about passport tricks, right? Dr. Umar Johnson was over here speaking about the quote unquote snow bunny crisis. If black men were begging black women, Would there be a Dr. Umar Johnson speaking about the quote unquote snow bunny crisis? Hmm. Well, on that note, everyone, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Um, Detroit, this was a good one. Yeah, begging, begging. Wow. Um, this is unfortunate. Look, they're doubling and tripling down on their delusions, and yeah. So now black men are begging black women. Eviction rates sky high for black women, but black men are begging black women. Okay, alrighty then. And she brings up Fresh and Fit, saying, "Yeah, we don't need women, and then women." Yep, yeah. This is just Klingon for oh my god, Houston, we got a problem. Yeah. So on that note, everyone, like I said, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Go touch some grass, unlike this young lady. FD, you want to say that we're engaging in too much of this? We're go touch some grass, go outside, right? Like I said before, dear black women, put the goddamn phone down. Get off of social media. Begging. Begging. Woof. Okay. On that note, everyone, y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out. Begging. Jesus. Just want to say this right here to what GC is saying. It's turning them into nut jobs. I could do another stream about that. We'll revisit that. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out.